It is officially a new year and a time for a reset. Today, I'm going to walk you through my quarterly planning system that I have been using since last year. I've found that this method is the best way to actually achieve goals instead of relying on New Year's resolutions. So grab a cup of coffee and your favorite planner and let's get started. Let's start by reviewing the last quarter of 2025. So I had made goals in 3 different categories: professional, financial, and fitness. Okay, so professional goals, the first goal was to reach 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours on YouTube by the end of 2025. I've definitely reached my goal of getting 500 subscribers. Thanks to you guys, I'm just so grateful to have reached that goal this year. Second part of it, the 3,000 watch hours, I'm still working on it. I'm almost halfway there, so I'm at about 1,100 as of today. So I had one video do really well, which was my how I use all of my produce in a week. And that video currently is sitting at about 33,000 views, which is a huge amount for how small my channel is. And so that video brought in most of my subscribers. If you're watching this because of that video, welcome. That video was great because it helped me understand the overlap between content I enjoy making and content that you guys find useful. So I do think most of my content moving forward will be tailored to the topic of meal prepping and just making good habits easier to integrate into your life. So it is great that that video ended up doing so well. Now, after that video is another story. So after that video, I have really just seen my views dip quite a bit. I'm barely getting 100 views, and I don't know, it could have a lot to do with, of course, everyone's busy with the holidays and maybe people are spending time with their families and away from YouTube, which is obviously a good thing. So definitely I'm not too upset about that. But I think reaching 500 subscribers so quickly, I believe I reached 500 subscribers on November 12th. That was way earlier than I expected. Knowing that that was possible so quickly makes me believe that reaching the rest of the watch hours that I need to monetize is also going to be pretty quick in that sense. And another thing that really helped get to that goal so quickly was tracking my work metrics daily. And I talked about this as a great habit that I adopted in my last video. So do check that out if you want a little more in-depth as to what that is. I think the coolest part about this goal was it felt honestly so beyond my reach and kind of unrealistic back in September. But putting in the work every single day and tracking that work and improving by just 1% every single day definitely got me there. I'm just really amazed at that process and how much I've learned and grown since then. I hope you're also seeing an improvement in my videos. I know I still have a lot to work on, but I definitely think that the process of tracking what I'm doing and keeping myself accountable really helped me get there. So I'm really thankful for that. The next set of goals was financial. The first one was I wanted to earn an additional $1,000 a month or $3,000 by the end of 2025. I did meet the $1,000 a month goal for the month of November. That's when I got my client whose work totaled to just about $1,000 for that month. And then in December so far, I've made 2 sales on my 2026 wall calendar, which if you happen to be watching this video and you made that purchase, thank you so much. It means a lot to me and I really hope you enjoy the calendar. I use a third-party platform called Gelato to process those orders and they take quite a huge cut of the earnings on that. So far, I've made about $20 on that calendar, which is great because that's something that I created myself, and even earning $1 on a product that you've created yourself is worth a lot. So I'm grateful for that. While I didn't meet the exact goal of earning the $3,000 by the end of the quarter, I was able to reach this goal about halfway, which I really don't think would have happened if I hadn't set the intention out that I wanted to earn that money. Because before I set these goals, I was very stressed financially. If you guys remember, I had quit my job recently and I really had no idea what the future held. At the time, I only had about 100 subscribers on YouTube, so it's not like I had monetized on YouTube either, and I had kind of just started my business, so there were a lot of unknowns. I really think that setting these goals and giving myself 3 months to achieve them is the reason that I was able to at least get halfway with most of these goals, which is certainly better than zero, and it's certainly better than sitting in the fear and doubt. Again, that's why I just really love this quarterly planning method, because it feels like you're kind of collapsing timelines and achieving things way faster than you thought possible. Moving on to the fitness category, really my goal was to just stay consistent with working out. I defined this as working out for 15 minutes at least every single day. day. And a few other things were tracking my calories and meal prepping. And the cool thing about setting the goal for meal prep was that was the reason I filmed the video on how I make meal prep easier. Posting that single video was the reason that I was able to get to 1,000 subscribers. You never know how things work out, and I do think everything is so interconnected. I could have never predicted that setting a goal to meal prep would be the reason that I get close to monetizing on YouTube. I have been using this app to track all of my workouts. Right now it's saying I've been about 56% consistent with that, which I'll take because a lot of days I do work out for longer than 15 minutes, and I did take last week off just because of the holidays. Was honestly burnt out and just needed some time off. So I'm pretty happy with that. To me, that's better than 0, which is where I was in the past. In the past, I would go months without working out. So now it's more of a daily habit, and I've gotten used to it enough to where if I don't work out for a long time, it's pretty easy for me to get back on track just because I know how much better I'll feel if I work out consistently. So now moving on to the fun part, which is setting goals for the first quarter of 2026. First professional goal for Q1 2026 is to gain 4,000 watch hours on YouTube. I'm gonna up this goal to 4,000 watch hours because that's the requirement for actual monetization through YouTube. The previous goal I had set of the 500 subscribers and 3,000 watch hours, that was to get into the first tier of monetization, but because I've surpassed the 500 subscriber mark, I'd like to just look at the next goal where you actually earn money from ads through your videos. And I always like to set systems for myself to actually achieve these goals. So gaining the 4,000 watch hours means that I need to really make my videos more engaging. Now, that's something I've been working on for the past few months. Again, once I had that video kind of go viral for my niche, I thought that making videos exactly like that one was going to be the answer to continue getting more views and more subscribers, but that just wasn't the case. It means that I just need to pivot, learn how to make videos more engaging. That's kind of a fun skill that I'm excited to learn this upcoming quarter. I want to learn better storytelling, better communication, visuals, and how to really integrate those to captivate the viewer. And again, here it's really important for me to be specific about how I'm going to achieve this goal. So I'd like to dedicate at least 3 hours every single week to learning how to make better videos. Fridays are going to be the best days to spend time learning. So I'm going to be spending 3 hours every single Friday towards a YouTube learning course. As far as my posting schedule, so last quarter I had set a goal to post 1 long form video every single week. I was able to keep up with that for the most part, but eventually I kind of found a sweet spot for me, which is posting every 10 to 14 days. I do think that cutting it back is going to be a lot more beneficial in the long run, and hopefully it leads to content that's just more enjoyable. So my new goal for Q1 is going to be posting 1 long form video every 10 to 14 days. And this is also why I'm so glad I did a sprint last quarter, because I've really built a trust within myself, and so now I can allow myself to cut back a little bit because I trust myself. Whereas when I was brand new to this, I needed to have a little bit more rigor in my schedule to make sure that I was going to actually get the work done on time. So moving on to the financial goals, this category is definitely one that I'm most apprehensive about this year because I'm not going to lie, I feel a little defeated that I didn't meet my goal in the last quarter. So I'm actually going to change my approach this quarter because even though last quarter I had set some steps for myself to earn that money, which included booking more clients and advertising my business more, finding products to sell, it's also important to note that when you start a business, it's hard to focus solely on the amount of money you want to make. One of my favorite channels about this topic is by Dea, and she talks a lot about how you just have to focus way more on the service and the value you're providing to your clients as opposed to fixating so much on the money that you want to make. And that's going to be my strategy moving into 2026. I'm actually really going to take a step back and invest a lot more time and resources into the quality of my products. So I had posted the calendars for sale back in November. It took until the end of December to make a single sale on those. And now that I have a little bit of traction on that, I think I'm going to actually invest a lot more time into creating more similar products that hopefully will also sell. And I think really this quarter is about leaning into what works. So my financial goals for this quarter are book 2 clients with my business this quarter, and I'm predicting that most of my business work will happen in March. So that really gives me January and February to focus more on YouTube and Etsy. So as far as YouTube goes, I'd like to get monetized. And as far as Etsy goes, I'd like to create at least 2 more digital products related to the planning and calendar niche. That's enough of a focus for this quarter financially. I'm leaving the actual numbers kind of out of it for now because right now it feels like a complete guessing game, and I kind of want to just see how things pan out. Maybe at the end of January I can assess where I'm landing and then assign a financial goal, but as of right now, I just don't feel like I have enough information to even set a realistic goal. So lastly, the fitness category. Now this is where things are going to get a little more exciting for me. So I would really like to prioritize my fitness this quarter. I'm going to be a little more specific about my workout regimen. So right now I have just a general goal to work out 15 minutes every single day, and that has been working, but I kind of want to take it up a notch. So I'd like to really get more into strength training this quarter. So I'm going to make a goal to strength train at least 3 times a week. And mental health is a big part of fitness as well. And I'd really like to get more consistent with journaling. I think that'll also help me clear some of my mental blocks around the financial aspects that I shared earlier. I'm going to make a goal to journal 1 page every single day. Lastly, I'd like to walk for 15 minutes every single day. And that's going to be on top of the strength training 3 times a week. I found that walking has such great benefits. Actually, in the month of December, I pretty much exclusively was walking, and I noticed a lot of great results. So I do want to keep up with walking, and I know once it gets warmer, I'm going to want to hike a lot more, and the more I walk now, that's basically like training for hiking. And one hack for walking more is I recently got a manual treadmill, and what I do is anytime I see an interesting YouTube video that I want to watch, I'll just add it to my watch later playlist and I'll watch it while I'm walking. Those are my goals for Q1 of 2026. Please let me know if you have any exciting goals down in the comments below. I love reading your comments and I respond to every single comment as much as I can. Just remember to give yourself credit for the things you have already accomplished and see if there's any ways to build on what you're already doing. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day.